Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Boundaries are the foundation of any healthy relationship, and it's important for us all to identify and effectively communicate those boundaries. So here to help, we welcome back licensed professional counselor Christine Babinec. Great to see you. Happy Friday.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Okay, so boundaries are a big buzzword right now.
Yes.
But some of us might not be using the word correctly, and I think I've been using it wrong. So please enlighten us.
Well, I think there's a lot of different ways to view boundaries.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're looking at, well, I like to say just what you said, right? Boundaries are the foundations of all healthy relationships. And they help us foster trust and respect, and they help us communicate our differences and our wants and our needs and our desires. And they help us sort of navigate difficult topics sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think a lot of times what I'm hearing from a lot of people are saying, this person violated my boundaries. And I say, ooh, tell me more about that, right? You know, as a therapist or even as a friend or a mom.
Yeah.
Because I think what has happened as we've started using boundaries as part of our lexicon is that we may not be talking about them in a way that foster relationship, and rather we're looking at them as a way to like shut down conversations.
Sure.
So instead of having a conversation with someone about what I would like or what my preferences are, I'm saying, well, this is my boundary and this is what I want you to do.
Right. Without the explanation of what that really means and why it's important.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so my hope through this public service announcement is that when we think about or talk about boundaries, we're using it to get closer, to have more interesting conversations, to have more intimate conversations, to have more thoughtful, honest conversations, and not using boundaries as a way to cut off conversation.
That's awesome. So tell me about internal versus external boundaries. What are the differences?
Yeah, so internal boundaries are things that I want and need for myself, maybe for my safety, maybe for my protection, but really mostly sometimes for preferences. And external boundaries might be agreements that I make with other people by sharing a little bit about myself or what makes me comfortable.
And it's not about controlling the other person, right? Because I think that's where a lot of us go wrong. You violated my boundary because you did X, Y, Z, but that's not really the point of it.
Right, exactly. I mean, boundaries really ultimately can and should help us grow closer and have deeper communication rather than shut down communication and going into blaming and shaming other people. And of course, I want to put this out there, this is in the absence of abuse and neglect.
Right.
If we're just talking about a regular healthy relationship, we want boundaries to help us grow closer, not push us further apart.
Do you have some examples of simple boundaries and ways to either enforce them successfully, or some pitfalls that we find ourselves falling into as well?
Yes, I think so. I think a classic one is you have one person in a partnership who wants to get healthier. Say, I want to eat less fast food, or I want to eat healthier, or I want to exercise more. So you may want to go to your partner and say, this is a goal I have for myself. Would you like to join me in that? Or I have some ideas about how that might work. What are your ideas? So you're letting people know what you'd like to do, or your partner what you'd like to do, but you're also inviting them into that process and starting to negotiate and talk about that. So that would be more of like an external boundary. I think where a misstatement would be is, you know, getting angry at my partner for bringing home fast food, or trying to control what they are doing, and that's not really a boundary. That's someone doing what they want and need to do in their life. We can't control their behavior.
And you just have to communicate even if it's uncomfortable sometimes.
Yes.
It's tough. It's not always easy.
Yeah, exactly. I saw this great, I think we all know and love Brene Brown. I saw a great little clip of her the other day talking about, she has a spinny ring that she uses to take time before she answers a question and starts to engage with someone, so that she can get in touch with her preferences and what she might want to do, rather than just immediately going into protect and defend. This is my boundary. I'm either going to do this or not going to do this. So you can have more thoughtful, loving, communicative relationships when you share a bit more, but it does take some courage.
It does. It does. And practice. You just have to work on it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We could talk about this for hours, but we're going to wrap it up for now.
Excellent.
Great to see you.
So nice to meet you.
We'll have these tips and more information about Christine on our website at katu.com.